magic in the air. Wands swirl around us, cast away our care. Friends in the hallways, adventures we find. Spells and enchantments, trouble on our mind. That's so easy for life is a spell we know. We're casting joy and glow. That's a wizard show. Mischief in the classroom, potions gone astray. Flying through the quad, now brighter every day. Laughter we.
It's Wednesday. It's time for Wizards of the Coast News of the Week, or as we like to call it around here, That's So Wizards! That's So Wizards is filmed in front of a live studio audience consisting solely of Steve the Cat. What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday. It is 9:12 in the morning. It's the 11th day of September 2024. It's cold and foggy and gloomy. It's time to look at the Wizards of the Coast news. And the very first news that comes to us this week is that Wizards of the Coast announced that they're going to be doing a live D&D touring experience sometime next year, maybe starting in Toronto, possibly. We really don't know anything about it, but I just want to remind everybody, the last time we saw a big hullabaloo about a live touring experience, it was the Willy Wonka live touring experience that they had in Glasgow that consisted of this. Yeah. A big warehouse with a couple things in it, and yeah, it was a big disappointment. And I have a feeling this is probably what we can expect from a live touring experience. So just a reminder that the last time we had a big multimedia live touring experience from a multi-million-dollar company, it was this. But don't worry, if you're going to go to the D&D live touring experience, as soon as it's announced and they decide where they're going to put it and what it's going to be, you don't have to do it sober, because we've announced from Dragon's Milk, starting in November 2024, we will have a brand new run of official Dungeons & Dragons booze, because there's nothing in the world I want associated with a kid's game more than alcohol. Tastes like D&D. So this is from the New Holland Brewing Company. They're going to do a barrel-aged stout and some mead, a whiskey, and some other things, all themed around Dungeons and Dragons. By the same brilliant people who came up with the Matthew Lillard alcohol, or Lego, or the Critical Role alcohol, because nothing says tabletop role-playing game 50th anniversary like alcohol. I can't imagine the flavors. Gelatinous cube ginger ale, Strahd stout, Dragon's Milk dark bitter, green Allop ale. Yeah. We're not getting an official 50th anniversary t-shirt, but we're getting official 50th anniversary alcohol. Yeah. But that's okay. Because perhaps it was while they were playtesting this alcohol. See how I'm doing this? Look at all these segues, huh? That they forgot to put some stuff in the player's handbook. Because they really... it's funny because I made a joke that there was going to be an errata within the first day of the player's handbook going live. And there was an errata on the first day of the player's handbook going live. So that means a whole bunch of stuff in the digital player's handbook was changed, because Wizards of the Coast can do that now. They can go in and change things in your account without you knowing about it and without them having to tell you. But that means that all the 3,000 copies that Stephen Glicker bought at Gen Con don't have the errata. Which means they'll probably have to print a brand new version of the physical handbook with the errata in it, instead of, just making the errata available like this, because they've never done that before, right? They've never noticed some mistakes and then said, hey, we made some mistakes. We're going to release. Oh, no, we're just going to release a brand new version. No, they've never done that before. But thankfully, the last time they did this, we didn't have access to the interwebs, so we had to just suck it up, and it became known as Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. This time, the errata is supposedly already been uploaded to the digital version. But what about those of us who have the physical version? I mean, I don't, but I know Stephen Glicker has like 800 of them. Will we be able to download this? No, apparently not. It just says if you have the physical, you might have noticed several differences between the digital and the physical due to the soon release errata, the following changes. So again, is this errata going to be available to me, something I can download if I have the physical copy, like the 3,000 that Stephen Glicker got? I'm going to keep making fun of him because I can. And he's my pal, sort of, I guess. I don't know, maybe. I mean, in a perfect world, it would be a PDF that I could go to D&D Beyond and just download it and print it out and slide it in to my physical player's handbook that I happen to have a copy of, right? But Wizards of the Coast doesn't do PDFs on D&D Beyond. Oh, no, that would cost them money. No, they do much like what they did with the Let's Put the Rules for Free on D&D Beyond, where each separate category is its own subpage. So if you wanted to get the entire SRD of the new 2024 rules, you would have to go to each one of those things, click it, copy and paste, then go back, click it, then because you can't just make one SRD PDF available for us. No. So I'm assuming that's probably going to be the same thing for this. Will there just be a simple, easy to manage, easy to walk through PDF of the changes that we can get? Because how is it that this game was able to go to the market on August 4th with mistakes, since we know you had the game for a while and you're just now noticing this? But no, I could now go, hopefully you would think that's how they do it. Hey, I want to download it. And okay, here you go. Here's the link. Here's the PDF. Just download it and then print it out. But more likely, it's going to be the same way they did the rules for the new player's handbook. So if you want to get the PDF of all the changes, you got to click, copy, paste, click, copy, paste, click, copy, paste, print out. Oh my God. Yeah. Thanks, Wizards. How do you not notice? I don't know. They were probably busy. What were they probably busy doing at Wizards of the Coast when they weren't noticing that there were mistakes in the player's handbook? They were probably preparing for the inevitable AI takeover of Wizards of the Coast. Now, this one I know is going to get a bunch of people in an uproar. They get the OSR panties tied up. A lot of people are going to shake their fists and go, how dare you, Wizards of the Coast, announce that you're going to do this? At which point I will remind you, they announced that they were going to do this back in 2020. And of all the things they have been shady and insidious about, this is the one thing that they have consistently been honest about. They have consistently been honest since 2020. By 2030, what their 10-year plan was for digitization of the Dungeons and Dragons product and turning D&D from a game to a lifestyle brand. The one thing they've been honest about is the one thing people refuse to believe that they would do. So every time Wizards announces this, they're like, God damn it, how dare you, Wizards of the Coast? So, yes, Chris Cook was at a meeting with Goldman Sachs. Unusual, but okay. And he was asked about the thing. And he talked about how fun the AI is and how he gains with over 30 to 40 people every week. And he sees all of them embracing AI and how fun it is. And they need to embrace AI. And they've already been using the AI to generate things. In fact, they're now admitting that as far back as Big B's, there was AI. Even though, they claim that AI was not supposed to be there. Now it sounds like, oh, yeah, we did it intentionally. We just got caught. and we had to come up with a hullabaloo. But so yes, so it's a, we're referring to it as a knowledge and workers aid. They have 1,900 things of different brands, including Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons, to farm to make brand new things. So furthering the, I don't have to make new Magic the Gathering cards. I can just have the computer make it for me. It literally writes itself anyways. So I will assume that whatever D&D staff is left, who's coming up with such brilliant ideas, is let's do Innistrad again, because we haven't done it enough. We will see more of the same. Well, the AI will just go through the past 20, 30, 40 years of however long it's been of Wizards of the Coast, Magic the Gathering stuff, going all the way back to alpha, and then just regurgitate a brand new Magic the Gathering run. Bring back banding. Hashtag bring back banding. And what few staff members of Wizards of the Coast Magic will be even less, because they won't be needed, because we really don't need you to make Magic the Gathering cards anymore. We can just have the computer do it, and people will buy it no matter how dumb it is. How many times have we done Ravinica? I don't know, like 30. Let's do it 31. But they're also, so yes, they're expect chat GPI written adventures, expect AI created art, expect AI to be fun, and how the 30 to 40 people that he is embracing with are using AI to make their gaming more interactive. Again, for those of you who are either A, claiming that Wizards of the Coast won't do this, they're doing it. They've been doing it. They told you they were going to do it in 2020. What part of that do you still not believe? And for the other, those of you who are going, God damn you, Wizard, how suddenly you do this? Again, no, this isn't sudden. I told you they were going to do this in 2020. I repeatedly tell you that they're going to do this. They honestly tell you, hey, yeah, we're doing this. And yet you idiots still get all, oh, God, I'm so upset. How dare you? Well, I don't know why. Now, the last thing, I don't know if this is news, but it just seems to show Wizards of the Coast's mentality of how they're trying to market 6E. And one of the big things that came out of the marketing of 6E was the announcement of that there will be a new 6E starter set, and it will feature a 5E take on Keep on the Borderlands. Ooh, Keep on the Borderlands. And it'll be in the new books. And it'll feature all of the B series, B1, B2, B3, all cobbled up together, gone through the AI, regurgitated out. Of course, it will have to pass the acceptance thing, where, you know, they get people like Mackenzie to look at it and go, oh, what is wrong with this? Oh my God, this is so offensive. We can't mention this. Now, I will remind everybody that you can find a copy of Keep of the Borderlands in its original beloved version for anywhere from $10 to $20 to $18, a PDF to $5. I assume they're going to try and go off the PDFs and take them down. So if you can get the PDF for it, then take it and download it while you can. And if they do take it down, I'm sure there's somebody that has it. If nobody else has it, I have it. I'll send it to you. DM me. What can we expect from a 5E take on Wizards of the Coast, where it's going to be more approachable and friendly and emphasize the new direction? Well, I have a feeling it'll be a lot less about taking the borderland and slaughtering the orcs and goblins, and a lot more about let's try and be friends and work together, and I don't know, open a coffee shop or whatever. It'll be, yeah, if you want the original, it's out there. You can get it. It's not hard, at least until Wizards finds ways to take it down. But I'm sure most of us have a copy. And that is all the Wizards of the Coast news. Oh, wait, no, it's not, because backgrounds is a thing again, thanks to Wizards of the Coast. You'll notice that the tabletop role-playing game community is making some very hollow fist shaking about the background thing and the Sparkle Troll thing and the player agency thing, because apparently in the new 2024 Player's Handbook, they changed backgrounds again. They made them a little bit more meaningful and a little bit more impactful instead of just a cheap way to get a few extra skills and some extra free gear. I always felt there should be more backgrounds. I like the idea of just knowing what my character did before he started adventuring, but I always felt it's like there should be a few more, but it's really not that important. Again, it's just sort of a cheap way to get a free skill and some free gear and a free idea of, okay, my character was a sailor, but apparently they've changed it and made it much more intrinsic to the building of characters, which is fine for 6e. It's fine. I have no problem with that. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. I mean, I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to run it, but sure. If that's what you want to do with 6A, I have no problem with that. In fact, it sounds like it's okay way to do it. But of course, then we went, no, backgrounds ruin my game. I don't want to hear your 16-page backstory. Player agency's going to ruin your game. It's like, is that still a thing? I mean, did that ever really happen? You want to write a 2,000-word background for your character? Go ahead, write it. Publish it. Who knows? You might be the next Twilight. You might be the next Discovery of Witches. I mean, it could happen. And if you want to send the DM your 5,000-page background and they're open to reading it, email him. The problem always was the assumption that if I don't allow you to have your epic backstory, you're going to use Twitter to destroy me. And if I don't engage in your player agency, you will go around on the Twitter and tell people what horrible person I am, and that could affect me going forward, which it was really a reasonable fear. But I think, there probably was a way to reach a happy medium between the meme of the 500-page backstory and the meme of the players saying, GM saying, no, you can't have that at my table. And then the meme of, well, I'm going to ruin your game. Probably somewhere in there was a happy medium where, you could either work out compromises during session 0, give and take. You could come up with a solution to the background issue that doesn't curtail your game. The fear of using player agency to take control of the game is a reasonable fear, not because the DMs somehow have lost their ability to manipulate, but because there is a underlying concern of losing players, or worse, being ruined on Twitter, which then just sparked the whole backstory thing. So the backstory thing is a thing again because Wizards of the Coast changed backgrounds, and now people are like, I don't want your 16,000-page backstory at my game. Are you saying you're half elf, half gnome, half vampire, half star child, half sandwich? Is like, but if I don't allow it, you're going to ruin me. So yeah, backstory is a thing, and it'll never be resolved. I'm sure there's a happy medium somewhere. I would say again, if you've written a 5,000-page backstory for your character, publish it. Who knows? You could be the next Discovery of Witches. I mean, there's worse things that have been made into books and movies and TV shows. So yeah. But if you're going to try and force it on a DM's game, maybe it's something you could work together. Like, okay, that isn't in my game, but that. I think I've told you my story about the robot, right? And backstory and how we tried to come up with a happy alternative, but the player just got all upset because he couldn't have a robot, even though the DM and everybody else at the table found a happy medium, saying, well, you can't have a robot, but you can have a homunculus, which is basically the same thing. And you can make your homunculus look like whatever you want. So if you want your homunculus to look like Grimlock from the Transformers, it can look like Grimlock from the Transformers. The DM had no problem with a homunculus if the player was willing to go through the steps to get a homunculus, but the player wanted a robot, and that's the problem. That's where we have something like that. Oh, I suppose I need to answer this. It's probably something important. That's my phone ringing. Anyways, that's the news. All I have to say in closing in that is, when these things happen, you just have to nod your head and go, that's so wizard.
Laughing aloud now, magic in the air. Wands roll around us, cast away our care. Friends in the hallways, adventures we find. Spells and enchantments, trouble on our mind. That's so wizard. Life is a spell we know. We're casting joy and glow. That's a wizard show. Mischief in the classroom.